All right, everybody, we're going to get started. My name is Ben Dockstetter. I'm on the product team here at Affinity. Thank you all for joining our session. First one in this room. We'll try to make it a good one. We're going to talk a lot about APIs today, so hopefully you guys are ready to get into the weeds. We're also going to talk about some of the things you saw in the keynote, dive into a little more details, and hear from one of our customers. So the title of this talk is about what use cases for API v2 and what's API v2 all about. Really what we're trying to achieve and we're trying to build here at Affinity is an open platform. It means that you can take data from Affinity and place it in other tools, use it in other workflows. You can bring your own data into Affinity and really extend all the things that we're building. We've actually got a couple partners in here that are working on extending Affinity. We want to work as closely with them as we can because we think we can do a lot better together. There's some examples of some of the workflows that we see commonly. Storing data in data warehouses, running reports in your own platforms for internal focuses, enriching data back into Affinity that's living somewhere else. Hopefully you guys are all building something with AI as well. And yeah, our developer network has been growing. We got some great folks, like I said, that are here launching new integrations on the Affinity platform. And we're only getting started. We're going to expand this more and more. If you've got a platform that you'd really like to see integrated with Affinity, we'd love to talk to them. Jimmy and myself work with a lot of integration partners. It's exciting to see what they can do on Affinity. All right, so because I'm in product, naturally, I'm going to talk a lot about roadmap and what we've built and get into the specifics. So hopefully this is what you guys came to see. So what's new in the Affinity API? We've had this V2 version of the API out for some time. This is our new standardized approach to API. It's more scalable, more stable, well documented, and going to be used to support basically everything we do in the future. Some of the recent things we've been adding to this new API, we just released brand new APIs for notes. So getting all of your notes outside of Affinity, fetching notes for specific entities, seeing all the attachments that notes can possibly have. And with some advanced filtering. So you'll be able to filter and look for notes just based on who the creator was, recent notes that were created. This is really useful for any AI applications. If you're making queries like show me all my notes or show me the recent notes that I've created, this API can help you with that. You can also get new data like the replies on notes. It's maybe less often used, but there nonetheless. And we released 2 new APIs for merges. I don't know if many of you have used our new duplicate matching algorithms, but we wanted to expose merging in the API as well, because I think a lot of you have really great data and probably sometimes know when a person is a duplicate or a company is a duplicate. You might have your own rules for that. And so if you want to do that analysis somewhere else and put the merge back in Affinity, you can do that. Next up, we've been really focusing on making our interaction APIs much better in V2. When I say interactions, what I mean by that is all of the emails and meetings that are collected automatically by Affinity. And so we have in beta right now 2 new endpoints for emails and meetings. These are designed to extract your interaction data in bulk, meaning you can just hit the API and grab everything. A lot of our customers are using this to take data out of Affinity, put it in their data warehouse. And I think last I checked, we're a couple days away from some filters being added to these endpoints, so you can just fetch the new stuff, things that have been updated. You don't have to re-grab the world every time you query these APIs. Similarly for notes, if you want to take notes out of Affinity, maybe you want to do your own analysis on them, maybe they're relevant in another platform, we've got bulk APIs for notes. And lastly, for writing fields back into Affinity. This is a pretty painful operation in API v1. Some of you may use some connectors that use these. Our new v2 APIs for writing fields are much nicer. You can update all the fields on any given entity in one API call and really kind of do that a lot more efficiently. All right, that's it for at least what's new. I'm going to come back on stage when we got some roadmap items. But until then, I'm going to ask Clifford to come on up and share a little bit about how his firm's using API.
Not necessary. Thank you, Ben. I'm Cliff. I'm a principal at World Innovation Lab, or WIL. We're a US-Japan VC fund. I'm on the investment team. But in 2022, when I joined the firm, we were on Salesforce, and then led the charge to move to Affinity. And in 2023, hired a data scientist, and we started investing in our data program. This is what our data program at Will looks like today. And as I mentioned, we started in 2023. Then it was before then it was manual processes with pulling pitch book data from the front end, reports, manually updating things in Salesforce, and it wasn't very automated or sophisticated. We moved to Affinity, and it's been great for building out our platform. It's provided us the flexibility to really build the automations and the workflows and the tools in a custom manner that really fits our unique needs. So we first were just working with pitchbook data, bringing it into Affinity. We've then quickly added a few more alternative data sources. Some are here, SimilarWeb, Harmonic. We have others as well. Then using Google Cloud and Cloud Storage BigQuery, and then APIs from Affinity, we can make sure all of that data is centralized and updated in real time, or whatever cadence the alternative data provider updates their data. So we have no latency, and everything is in one place, which is in Affinity. This is important for our team, just to have one source of truth and to have one place that we can always go and use to run our meetings and our individual workflows. Since then, we've gotten a little bit more sophisticated as well, and for custom automations, we've been subscribing to Affinity webhooks, and we can do things with that, which then would go also to Google Cloud, but using Cloud Run and PubSub to create custom automations based on particular events. This could be updating timestamps when things happen, fields change, or new data comes in. We have a lot of automations that flags things to Slack on an individual user or team channels when certain data, maybe headcount's growing, you haven't talked to a company a certain amount of time, or a field changes or things like that. Moving further to the right, for some front-end UIs that are more complex, we do have another tool we've built in Replit currently. We've tried other things. Some examples here is we have a similar company search kind of tool that leverages Weaviate and a bunch of alternative data sources and company descriptions to find competitors and other similar companies to the one that you're looking at. And we have some also tools that we use where we're leveraging LLMs, Anthropic, and OpenAI. This could be to categorize companies in certain verticals. It could be to write maybe some type of overview on the industry based on some other expert calls that we've done, or other alternative data sources as well. So we've been proud to partner with Affinity through beta and general release of the V2, and we are using all of these new features, and I can go by quickly one by one to talk about how we're using them. For Get All Companies, we can check the domains across our entire list in Affinity, and this is good for maintaining hygiene, make sure there's no duplicates, especially if companies are acquired or there's consolidation. So that's something that we use that for. For Get All List Entries on a saved view, with a particular view that we've saved, we can extract that data, then run, again, some kind of large analysis to make sure that check for all the mandatory fields that we've set up and review, or maybe we need to update or define a custom field that could be defined by us. So that could be like a top investor field, it could be a flag yes or no, and we want to maintain that list of top investors that are on the cap table to flag if that field gets should be ticked. For perform batch operations on a list entries fields, this is new, and it just reduced the number of API calls we need for a particular workflow. It creates less code base that's easier to maintain and review. I'll go into this one a little bit more in the next couple slides. Then for get metadata on emails and meetings, you can extract all the metadata from your we use Google, so Google email and calendar data, and with that we've done some analysis on centrality. So which relationships, which people internally and externally are the most important in terms of driving relationships within our business. So going into one specific use case to help contextualize a bit, on the left you see a company called iBot, and then you see the Affinity description of that company, and PitchBook has another one, and Harmonic will have another one as well. And then on the right we have a simple prompt here that's a bit longer, and we're using Anthropic and OpenAI to categorize this company into our predefined taxonomy of industry verticals. This helps to place it in there to know which investor to assign it to. Maybe it goes into a bucket that we don't want to cover as a firm, so it reduces the need to go over that as a team. It saves time and also maintains better hygiene within Affinity of companies that we actually care about. So in practice, you get back the Python dictionary on the left side. Those are 8 key value pairs, and 0 is no, and 1 is yes, and that's if we think that company, based on the descriptions of our data sources, falls into these 8 industry categories that we've defined and have decided that they're out of scope or out of mandate for our investment team. And then with V2, it is 1 API call. In the past, this would have been 8, because you couldn't do it in batch. And this might not seem like a lot here, but if you're doing this for hundreds of companies or thousands of companies, it ends up being quite a lot. And back to Ben for the roadmap.
All right, let's talk about what's coming next on the roadmap for API v2. So I already mentioned we've been spending a lot of time on interaction APIs. These are out in beta right now. If you want to get access to these interaction APIs, reach out to your CSM. There's a bit of a data migration step that we like to do before. But these are available. What we're working on next is some filtering on these, so it makes it easier to grab interactions for specific dates and basically allow you to sync chain sets of data. We're also going to build purpose endpoints for companies and people. What this lets you do is say, hey, show me all the meetings I've had or that I have coming with a specific person or a specific company. This often happens a lot. It's like, hey, what are all my meetings coming up this week? Help me prepare. A lot of these are going to be useful for those types of use cases. Another one we're really excited about is a transcripts API. So if you're using the Affinity AI note taker today, you know that the summaries go in the notes, but the transcripts live elsewhere, the full transcripts of the meetings. And in these transcripts, there's some rich data, the full conversation, who's talking the most, what are the actual being said in the meeting. And so we're going to be giving you the ability to extract this data out of the API. So any transcript that's attached to a note will be able to get fetched. So if you want to do your own analysis of the full transcript and not just rely on our summaries, or maybe you want to generate your own summaries, you'll be able to do this using the transcripts API. Next, something we're really excited about is a broader set of APIs around our relationship intelligence data. We talked a lot about relationship intelligence today. And these APIs are going to be critical in allowing you to work with the Affinity relationship engine. What these are going to do is let you, for one, extract this data out of Affinity. That's kind of been the theme of today. So if you want to take all of the relationship scores and rebuild your network graph outside of Affinity, you'll be able to do that. All of the relationships, the strengths, will be part of this API, so you can extract it in bulk. Now, if you have specific queries in mind, say you want to get all of my relationships or all the relationships we have with a particular company or person, you're going to be able to do that as well. These will be really useful in more on-demand use cases. Maybe you're using AI and you want to fetch, hey, where are all my relationships at this company, or show that in another platform. We talked a little bit at the keynote about our new platform for managing apps, managing the integrations. So the video that we showed at the keynote is much nicer than what I'm showing here. You got to see the UI and some of the things we're building. But I can talk a little bit to why we're doing some of this. Really, we've heard from our customers that there's a lot of integrations being built in Affinity, and without a way to audit them, you really struggle to know what's being built, who built what, and it makes it difficult to build use case specific integrations. So with some of these changes, you saw in the video at the keynote, you're going to be able to revoke keys. You're going to be able to see all your team's API integrations. So if there's a particular user that's creating a bunch of integrations or they just have a one-off, you'll be able to see that as an administrator. The other thing we're opening up is creating multiple keys per user. Today, we have a pretty harsh limitation that says every user gets one API key, and that's no longer going to be the case. So that means you can create purpose-built integrations that are just very specific for certain providers or certain use cases and scope that down. So if you don't want that API key to have access to the full data inside of Affinity, maybe it just needs to read people data or read interactions, you can rest knowing that it'll only have access to what you want to give it. We're also going to be rolling out support for OAuth. This is pretty standard in modern APIs. What this will allow really mostly our third-party developers to do is build a better user experience when connecting to Affinity. So if you've all kind of gone through this flow where you log in with Google or log in with Outlook, there's going to be a similar flow to that. So when your users are connecting integrations to Affinity, it'll be a lot more seamless. They will see what the external application is asking Affinity for, and they can accept that grant. As customers, as administrators, you could also use OAuth yourself. If you're building your own internal applications and you want a better user experience than users just copying API keys around and passing them around via Slack or something like that, you'll be able to use OAuth as well to make that a little bit more seamless. So yeah, these are going to be released throughout this year. If you check your Affinity instance today, you'll see a new page that we are starting with, which is very simple. You're just going to see kind of some details on the top about your API usage. But if you check back at that page frequently over the next couple weeks and months, you'll see new stuff getting added to it iteratively. All right, lastly, I want to talk a little bit about MCP. So you saw the demo that we showed at the keynote this morning. Affinity is going to be releasing an official MCP server for you to use with your LLMs, with your AI tools, with your integration partners. What this essentially is a natural language interface into Affinity. So for your end users, they'll be able to install the Affinity MCP into ChatGPT, into Claude, into Copilot, whatever they're using, and talk to Affinity conversationally, ask it questions, query things like, help me prepare for an upcoming meeting, and use all the data that's in Affinity to make that easy. Figure out who you're meeting, prepare documents, update fields back in Affinity. So it's going to be really powerful. One of the things we're going to be doing is also releasing it open source. So if there's any developers or you want to customize how your team is interacting with Affinity, you're going to be able to do that and host it on your own. So yeah, we're really excited with the MCP. I'd love to hear some of your guys' use cases if you've already started maybe building your own. Some of our customers have already done that using our API. But yeah, I would love to learn more. In general, if you want to come talk to me for the rest of the day, I'm around. I'd love to hear from you guys and your use cases on API and how we can build better APIs to serve you guys. So yeah, you can also email me or find me in the Slack community. I would love to hear from you guys, your feedback, your questions.
Question for Clifford. You don't have to bring up your slide again, but on your data stack, or your tech stack slide, you had the endpoints, like one was Slack, one was OpenAI and Anthropic, something else in there. I was just wondering what is the actual thing that you're doing with each of those interfaces? Like with Slack, for example, is it for the conversational piece, or is it just for documents and materials that are in Slack?
For Slack, we have a few automations there. One that's very popular with the team is just posting notes from Affinity into our investment team Slack channel. So every time someone meets with the company, we know when that happens and what the basic profile of the company is in real time. We have some other ones as well in Slack that are more for individual users, but I think the way we have it set up now is based on a certain amount of time you haven't touched a company, but they're raised over a certain amount of money that's in our ballpark, and maybe headcount is inflecting in a certain percentage in the last 6 months or 12 months or something like that, then you'll get a list of those companies every other week of folks you might want to reach out to. Those are the main two ones that we have for Slack. The endpoints for Anthropic and OpenAI are around some of the company categorization and descriptions. That's actually being displayed though, or some of it's being used to update fields in Affinity, but we also have another dashboard that we are using LLMs, APIs in the background to do some other categorization and customization. Is that helpful? Okay.
Jimmy.
And I'd rather use pre-existing third-party developers. I think we have 3 of them in the room right now, and I was wondering if I could put you on the spot to introduce yourself and just explain maybe what you do. And I want everybody to know these already exist and they connect with Affinity.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. Marek from Vesbury. We are a portfolio management system for VCs, and we are integrated with Affinity. It's been 3 years now. So we've seen version 1, also now version 2, and what the integration does is basically we as you make investments, you want to keep the same information about the company. So you can connect company information, but also we pull the relationship information into our system because you have your co-investors, cap tables, information about your transactions. So the whole team can see who do you know on those cap tables and how well. And also the other way, you can push information back into Affinity if you want to have revenues, ownership, what's the latest fair market value of your investment. So we can put that information back. And yeah, we're looking forward actually to build more also with the MCP servers that we also have a connection with, and we'll see where it takes us.
Hi everyone, we're ZAMS, an AI command center for B2B sales teams, although we do have VCs on the platform as well, especially if you are doing a lot of outreach. We integrate with everything across your GTM stack, including Affinity, so that you can run plain English commands in one chat interface. So instead of building workflows on Zapier or building them through MCPs, you can just, in our chat interface, query update all of my leads in Affinity with all of my most recent grain recordings. Excited to talk more to everyone.
Hey everyone, my name is Mike Pruce. I'm the founder of Visible. We are a portfolio monitoring solution primarily geared towards early to late stage venture capital firms. We have an integration with Affinity where you can pull in data about your contacts, founder contacts, and reporting contacts, and then push data back to Affinity as well. So really excited. We launched our integration more recently within the last 18 months or so. I'm really excited for some of the bulk APIs that we're seeing, and yeah, Affinity's been a great partner.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing on the spot, guys. Classic Jimmy putting you guys on the spot. All right, so that's a wrap. I'm here, going to be around for the rest of the day. If you guys want to chat, hang out here, have discussions together. Would love to know a little bit more what you guys are building. And yeah, thanks for joining the session.